Today started bright and early with Dave from Home Depot coming over to measure the area for the carpet. I was gonna do the installation myself, but considering it was $12, I figured that was something they could take off my plate. After Dave left, I went to work removing the old trim. This is a lot easier with a trim puller, let me tell you. After pulling off the first piece of trim, I took just a second to admire the handiwork of the owners before me. Beautiful. And then I moved on, getting all of the trim taken off in the master bedroom and what will be my studio space. The trim in the first bedroom came up easy enough. However, when I moved on to the third bedroom, I was having a heck of a time getting this to come off the wall, even with a trim puller. You could tell that this was the original trim of the house in both rooms, so I didn't know why this room was so much more difficult. Until... Oh, you are sneaky, aren't you? These connected? They are. So I found out why it was splintering and I couldn't get it loose. These have edges on the bottom. Stop focusing on my face. When you have an edge at the bottom, you have to take this and go underneath it and pull it up. And I couldn't see that it had an edge because it was under the carpet. But now that we know that, we can get the rest of the trim in this room off. Something I'm gonna do with these nails so that I don't find them later with my foot, because you know I will, is I'm just gonna take them and out of one of the boards we already pulled out, I'm just gonna nail them in. That way I don't lose them. Another thing I found out while I was pulling these off is they apparently didn't have finishing nails back in the 50s. They just used regular old nails. I pulled up the last board and this is what I found. Shout out to Ernest. That shit wasn't going anywhere. Previously, all of the cabinets were like this with just the one shelf. Now, they have 2 shelves. That was important. Awesome news, Habitat for Humanity said yes, they were going to be able to pick up that shower and that sink that we tore out since they're in good enough shape. So I moved them all out to the front yard right in front of garage, and they're coming by to pick them up tomorrow. So let's get back to painting. I know, everyone's favorite thing. I special ordered some paint that got here for Jay's office space, and unfortunately, the paint is satin. I meant to get it in eggshell so it wasn't quite as shiny, but you know, I still think it's gonna work. We just have to do some work in his office. I have spent the night getting all of these tiny little holes patched up from all of the spots that had screws in them. This was a giant ridge in the wall that I imagine happened just from the house settling since it is 70 years old. I had a lot of screws up here, a couple nails. The shinier your finish on your paint, the more those imperfections are going to show up because light is going to catch them. So since we are sticking with the satin finish, which will look really good because it's a very deep color, we have to make sure all of those little minor imperfections in the walls are all patched up. And this wall right here will have some wallpaper on it, so those little patches weren't technically necessary, but might as well start fresh. Oh, I see another one. That one's raised. We'll get that too. Now that all of those are patched up, I'm on to my next project for the night, which is fixing up these floors because I am going to stain them again this weekend. As you can see, these floors are in really good shape, but every once in a while there's just a little ding. And it's not enough to go, oh, we just need to cover everything in carpet, but we are gonna wanna patch those up because they let moisture in if you have cracks in your floorboard. I personally think that hardwood floors look better with a shiny finish. I think it makes them look cleaner and just a little bit more new. So just like with our walls, we're gonna wanna make sure all of our little dings and scratches and nicks in the wood are filled in. Oh yeah, see how when I move this way you can see that shine right there and that big chip? Those are what we're looking for. As you can see, I'm back in my paint shirt. We prepped all of the walls. I sanded these down. Now we just have to add a texturizing spray to it to give it the same type of texture as the wall. I'm not gonna do it to this wall and these patches right here because that wall is going to have wallpaper on it, so it doesn't really matter. It just all needs to be a flat surface. But these, I'll go around and do all of the rest of the spots that we saw. This can goes on blue, dries white, so we'll know when it's dry, and I have to shake it for a full minute before I can do anything with it. I could be a bartender. Very nice. With the walls all prepped, it was time to start painting. I did a quick sweep of the floor, laid down a paint tarp, and right before I picked up my brush, my dad called. What's up?
I decided that when I cut for the drains, I'm going to cut a drain in specifically for the washing machine and for the furnace, so you don't have to have any above ground drains running on the floor.
Oh, that's awesome. So even in the unfinished rooms?
Especially in the unfinished room. I mean, there's just no need to be tripping over that stuff all the time. Steve also gave me a really good idea. He said on the drain that leads the house, they have this thing called a backwater valve.
Okay.
It's a check valve. If the sewer ever backs up, this flap closes and it cannot come back out into your drains.
That would be amazing.
And I said, well, that's a great idea. I said, had she had that last time, she wouldn't have had our basement full of sewage.
Yes, 2018 was not a good year for this house.
But that would really have helped.
Well, it would have solved everything because the basement's never flooded, but the sewage has backed up. I was about to open my paint can when I realized that I forgot to take off the wall plates and cover the switches. So I did that really quickly before pouring out the paint. It's time to unveil the color that we're going to be using in this room, and since it is going to be Jay's studio space, I thought he should be the first to see it. So let's go grab him and take a first look. Okay, so we're about to see the color for Jay's studio space. Jay didn't pick this color out.
No, I did not. But I didn't pick this color out either, so.
That's true. So, do you trust me?
Yeah.
Do you trust me that it will at least be better?
I mean, it already looks better because you got the ceiling.
That's true. They did the same thing with this room though that they did with my room, and they got that little bit of the fan.
Oh,
I swear they did it on purpose, like a serial killer's calling card. Alright, let's take a look at this bad boy.
You may have to stir it a little too to get the full color.
Do you want to see it before it's stirred or after?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I can see it.
Ready?
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, it's really warm.
It is, and so this is technically gray, but as you can see, it's like a really, really deep green.
Yeah.
The shade is called Unplugged, and I thought that was really appropriate for a studio space.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you like it?
Especially like if I get like a warmer light in here that's not so harsh and have like more like a yellow, I think it'll be really kind of comfortable in here.
Cozy, for sure, that's what I was thinking too. And it's also appropriate because this is going to be the room that you mainly have, not with a TV, that's going to be the downstairs space, but for reading comic books.
Right.
So I think that you'll really enjoy it.
Nice.
Okay. And get out, I gotta paint.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so dark.
It's very dark.
I love it. Here's the first wall completely painted. As you can see, it's still drying, but I want to show you something. This, right off to where that little wet patch is on the side, right here, that is where we spackled 3 humongous holes and then texturized them. And as you can see, those holes are completely gone. So this was a roaring success. I'm so excited to paint the other 3 walls this color, the third wall being the one right over here, because the wall behind you guys is going to be wallpaper. I was trying to say wallpaper, but my camera died. See you next week.